Okay. I hear you ask. What is house flipping, and why does the investor bros always end up getting his houses foreclosed? Well, I'm glad you asked. So, in order to understand how to flip houses, you first need to understand the basics behind the housing market. Everyone likes owning a house. As such, everyone is trying to buy a house. However, unlike other financial assets such as gold, stocks, and cryptocurrency, many people are not trying to make money on real estate, but rather just live in a house. Therefore, the most important thing in real estate is the quality of life of the house as a whole. Just ask yourself, would you want to live in a $100 million mansion with a mountaintop view and private lake access, or a tent? Now, almost everyone would pick the first option. However, that $100 million mansion is $100 million for a reason: supply and demand. There is only one of those mansions, but almost everyone would want to live in that. As such, the person with the highest offer usually gets the house. This might seem like common sense, but it is important to reiterate as it is the most important fact of real estate markets. So, what can affect the price of a house? Well, there are a multitude of factors. The most obvious is location. For example, more people are trying to buy a house on a beach than in the middle of Antarctica. While this is over exaggerated, location is incredibly important in the housing market. For example, cities often have higher prices for the same amount of land and housing since more people are competing for the city house than the country house. This can even boil down to the neighborhood itself. For example, if a house is closer to a good school, families will try and compete for that house to gain access to the school. If a house is built far away from a school, families will compete for it less, which can drive the price down. Other factors can include the prices of other houses in the neighborhood, the proximity of the neighborhood to major work centers, the rate of crime in the neighborhood, and the overall general quality of life in the neighborhood. People don't like living in depressing spots. I don't, and if you do, well, that's good for you. However, location is not the sole determinant of real estate. The house itself can play an important role in the sale. For example, suppose there are two houses in the same neighborhood right next to each other. Assume that one house is a newly renovated house selling for 200,000 and the other one needs some improvements but is selling for 150,000. Which one should you buy? Well, it depends. You need to estimate the improvements necessary in both houses. Say the old house needs a new air conditioning unit, needs to be replumbed, needs a new roof, and you want to redo the cabinets and carpeting. Hypothetically, assume that this will cost an additional $60,000. Now, the true cost of the house is $210,000, which is an extra $10,000 and requires more work. While this is very oversimplified, it represents the core idea of housing. How much money do you want to sink in the house, and what do you want to get out? If you like the layout of the $150,000 house much more and are willing to pay the extra 10% and extra time to renovate it, there's no reason not to buy it. If you don't and you prefer the $200,000 house, then you can buy that too. It is up to your choice. Now, what if instead of giving your family a nice, warm place to live, you want to make money? First, you're going to need to like, comment a question, and subscribe, and please do all of that. Well, I am going to be exclusively talking about flipping houses. There are other ways to make money in real estate, but I'm going to be talking about buying low and selling high. First, you should estimate the potential sale of the house. You cannot just assume that you are going to make a profit since your house still needs to follow the rules of supply and demand. Figure out which location you wish to buy the house and the quality of the house. Then you'll need to figure out how much money is going to need to be sunk into the house, and you're going to have to combine it all and see if the profits are worth your time and experience to do so. In summary, housing prices follow the rules of supply and demand. However, it is the epitome of the fundamental economic problem: limited resources and unlimited wants. As such, you need to measure the quality of living the house brings with the price. This can include its location, be it rural or urban, family oriented or not, and the general quality of life of the living area. Additionally, You still need to make sure that the house is livable. You cannot sell a tent to a billionaire, and will probably have to at least upgrade it to include a sleeping bag. Thank you so much for watching. Like, sub, comment, stay in school, drink H2O, and peace.